I want to dig even deeper because when you talk about hard work, I remember you going through these times, and I remember that you were not getting support from family and friends, and basically everyone thought you were doing the wrong thing. But now I see you on social media. You are on a yacht with your publicist in Miami, hanging with billionaires. Do you think that anyone truly knows what kind of family, what kind of town you came from? Amber, have you always been a big city glitzy girl? This has to get up. People need to know how much work went into what we're seeing here today.
No, so I grew up in a very small town. It's called Petrolia. It's up in southern Ontario, tiny little town. And I plopped myself in Toronto when I was 17. I graduated high school early, which I did on my own account because I wanted to fast track to basically going to school for special event planning. And honestly, how I got into event planning was a lot of hard work too. I did a lot of charity work. I graduated with the hours that I documented in high school, which 365 volunteer hours.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of those events that I were doing were all events planned by me when I was in high school. So I truly learned by failing and doing things that were that I loved, but it was things that was what I'm doing right now. So honestly, yes, going to school and college was helpful for me because I guess it gave me a paper saying I knew what I was doing.
Okay.
But most of my experience I learned by planning actual events when I was in high school.
Right. And for a lot of those, you weren't getting paid.
No, I didn't get paid at any of them.
Okay, so
Not
these
one.
365 hours, you didn't get paid for one of them.
No.
See, but that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People who like to weaponize the word manifestation, they're not interested in doing 365 hours, doing dozens of events, planning the whole thing and not getting paid. That's not the manifestation they're talking about.
No.
They're talking about sitting on their couch, seeing themselves become an event planner. But what I am hearing, Amber Walker, on the Amber Walker podcast, is before you even made a cent, you had already put hundreds of hours into actually doing things, failing, and then moving to a city with 6 million people from a city with 6,000 people where you didn't know anyone, you didn't have family. Correct me if I'm wrong. That sounds like a lot of hard work, sacrifice, and self-belief.
It was a lot of hard work, and I knew that if I wanted to be the best, I had to learn all the ins and outs of event planning. And so that had to do with running a business, making money, food, all of the things. So I would volunteer for absolutely every position I could get my hands on. There was no job that I was good enough to not do. I would have cleaned literally the floor at an organization because that is what needed to be done for that particular day.
I saw that.
Yeah.
The first event, so when Amber and I met, I was speaking at an event and she was planning the event. And I remember it was you and Bradley. The event had so many different rooms, so many different speakers and all of that. And it was chaos from the organizer. The organizer didn't have a budget. They didn't keep the people in order. And I remember you just took over. And this is probably, Amber, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
11 years ago, you just absolutely took over. And my business partner, neighbor, and I, we were looking and saying, wow, she's incredible. She's got to be this incredible professional and all of that. But that was still at the part of your life where you weren't getting paid what you were deserved, still doing events that's incredible. See, I know I'm on the Amber Walker podcast, but I need the world to see what success looks like up close because no one was there, just you and Bradley during those hours when you were basically stapling things, folding things, sending out invitations, blowing up balloons. Yeah.
That's fresh out of school, fresh business started. And I remember that organizer contacted me and it was chaos. And I had no choice. I was like, first of all, I can't walk into an event and see things going wrong and not be able to have to do something about it. I can't. It's just so yeah, I had to step up to the plate. And I mean, it was an amazing event because I met you.
Okay.
I feel good about that.
And I'm so lucky because you actually reached out afterwards and we started a wonderful relationship. I think we connected over a proposal first. So you had a proposal that you were doing and you were looking for some advice.
Oh.
I looked at your proposal and I'm like, she doesn't need any advice. I'm looking at this and I'm like, look, you're just being nice to me and we're having a coffee and we're just talking, but you were already well on your way.